Hello guys, welcome back to VC Tech. In the previous video, we looked into how to configure DHCP Relay on a router and how it allows clients in different networks to obtain IP address from a centralized DHCP that is in a different location. Today, we are taking it a step further. Instead of using a router, we are going to configure DHCP Relay on a multi-layer switch. This is a very common setup in enterprise network where layer 3 switching is used for inter-VLAN routing. You will see how a multi-layer switch can efficiently forward DHCP requests across VLANs while reducing latency and also increasing network performance. So, if you're working with VLAN, inter-VLAN routing, a centralized DHCP service, this video is for you. Now let's get started. For this tutorial, we are going to be using one multi-layer switch and one server that will be serving as the DHCP server. Take that out. DHCP server and host PCs and two switches. Remember, for this video, there are two networks here. Since this will be serving as a layer 3 device, the multi-layer switch will be serving as a layer 3 device. So there are two networks. This will be taking network of 192.168.1.0 and copy that and just make the other one 2.0. So 2.0. So there are two networks for this tutorial. Let's first of all assign IP address to the DHCP server and create a DHCP pool that is going to assign IP address to this host devices on this network, on the network of 192.168.1.0. Remember, the DHCP server is in a different network of 192.168.2.0, and it has to carry out DHCP requests that will be coming from the network of 192.168.1.0. Let's assign IP to that device. So 192.168.2. Let's say it takes 2.5 with a default gateway of 2.1. We don't need a DNS for this, so we're going to skip that. So we've assigned IP address to this device over here. Let's also assign IP address to the default gateways of both networks. So we head to the interface of gig1/0/1, which is this network, and it's going to be having a default gateway IP address of 192.168.1.1. So before we do that, first of all, we need to say IP routing to let the router know that, on default, this is a multi-layer switch, so it serves as a layer 2 device by default. Before it serves as a layer 3 device, there are certain configurations that need to be set before it could be able to carry out layer 3 configuration. So first, we need to say IP routing on the multi-layer switch. Then we head over to the interface gig1/0/1. They all serve as a switch port on the multi-layer switch until we tell them to do otherwise. So for this tutorial, we are going to be saying no switch port because we want the port to serve as a layer 3 port. We say no switch port, then we try to assign IP to that interface, which will be taking 192.168.1.1 with the subnet mask of 255.255.0. We've assigned IP address to the default gateway of this local area network. Now let's also do the same for the local area network of the DHCP server. And it's going to be taking ./2, and the default gateway will be taking 2.1. So let's try to assign IP address without doing no switch port, and let's see what's going to happen. So we just go and get this IP address from here, and we say root -2, and we delete 2.1. So you see invalid inputs because the port is still serving as a switch port. Now let's make it a layer 3 port. We say no switch ports. Then we try to assign the same IP that we did and it refused. Now we are able to assign IP address to the interface gig 1/0/2. As you can see, we have 2 IP address for 2 ports. Now the next for this tutorial is going to be to configure a DHCP pool that would assign IP address to this device on the local area network of 1.0. So we head to services and DHCP. Remember to always power on the service. The DHCP service is imperative that it's on for it to be able to assign IP address, and the pool name is going to be server pool. The default gateway is going to be 1.1. There was no DNS, so it's going to start giving IP address from 192.168.1.20. So after doing this, we just save this. Then we try to check if we can receive IP address from the host devices. That's not going to be possible because there is something missing, and we have to configure that before we will be able to assign IP address to the host devices. So for that device, we could not get an IP address. Let's try with this one and see if we can. It's not going to be possible too. As you can see, we got an invalid DHCP address. Now let's go and configure something we call DHCP Relay on the router, so it could help carry out DHCP requests from a device that is not in the same location with the client that is requesting IP address from it. Now, how we do that is we go to the interface on the default gateway of the local area network, the devices or the clients that are trying to receive IP address. We go to that interface and we configure something called IP helper. So interface gig 1/0/1, which is the interface of this local area network. Remember, they are the ones asking for IP address from the DHCP. So we configure IP helper on the default gateway of this local area network, which is connected to interface gig 1/0/1. So what we do now, we say IP helper address, then we put the IP address of the DHCP server that this host device are trying to request IP address from, which is this DHCP server over here. Now they are trying to request IP address from this DHCP server. We put the IP address of that DHCP server, which is 192.168.2.5. By doing this, the client's device on the network of 192.168.1.0, they can request for IP address now from the DHCP server and also get a proper IP address. Let's see. As you can see, we got 192.168.1.20. Remember, we configured the IP address to start assigning IP address from .20. So that is why we got .20 and a default gateway of 1.1. Let's try for the second device and see if we are able to get an accurate IP address. It should be 21. Yes, it is 21. So guys, this is how we configure DHCP relay on a multi-layer switch when a device from a different location, a device from Australia wants to receive IP address from a DHCP that is being configured in China. That is how you configure DHCP relay on the router to get IP address. If this video helped you understand how to configure DHCP relay, then subscribe and like this video. In the next tutorial, we are going to be talking about something even more interesting, as we are going to be using 2 routers, because previously we've always been using 1 router or 1 multi-layer switch. For the next tutorial, we are going to be using two routers so you see how two routers communicate in a network. Thank you guys, and see you in the next video.